How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which, quartered, hath but one part wisdom and ever three parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass in charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at stake. How stand I, then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and blood, and let all sleep? While to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that, for a fantasy and trick of fame, go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot, whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain? Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but one part wisdom, and ever three parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have causes and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass in charge, led by delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes this mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at stake. How I stand then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep. All to my shame I see that imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough in the continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
The overarching theme of action and inaction is greatly relevant to the modern world. While the actions we consider daily may not be as decisive as Hamlet's, we all consider and weigh our decisions as Hamlet does. Like Hamlet, our actions are influenced by our morals, emotions, and rationality, and we may be prone to reckless mistakes made on a whim, like when Hamlet kills Polonius. This theme of action and inaction is greatly relevant because we are all faced with hard decisions from time to time. This is especially relevant in the world of politics, where politicians need to make and debate important actions that affect the entire nation. Elected officials are constantly debating divisive issues in concept, but when it comes to actually making laws and policies, like Hamlet, actions are rarely taken. For example, U.S. politicians are split on divisive topics such as gun control. Every time a mass shooting happens, the topic is heavily debated, and many believe that stricter gun control laws should be made and enforced. During these times, people take into consideration their beliefs, emotions, and rationality to decide their position, and the topic is debated heavily, but only in concept. When it comes to actual action, we are unable to implement gun reform, showing how the theme of action versus inaction is relevant to our daily lives.